Hello traders, Joseph here from Eightcap. This is the Trade Zone Economic Outlook video. So we're going to review some of the key and high impact news that's coming out this week. And I'm going to start with today. We're going to start with tomorrow. There's no high impact news coming out today. Apologies for that. So tomorrow we have retail sales coming out from Australia. We have GDP coming out from Germany, and GDP coming out from the EU. So I think traders will be pretty focused on Germany's data just to see how the economy is going, as they are the leading economy in the EU. Now on to Wednesday, we have Australian CPI data, which will be viewed with a bit of interest, especially to see where the position of the RBA is and how the rate rises have been going. Cost of living is still a huge factor worldwide, and especially it's a bit of a topic at the moment locally in Australia. There's been new tax reform introduced to try and combat it, so it will be interesting to see this CPI data. So they're looking for a drop in the CPI year on year to 3.7%. Trim mean at 0.9, that's on the quarter, and looking on the the quarter by quarter CPI coming in at 0.8%, lower than 1.2% that we saw last time. So any surprises to the upside, that's going to cause more speculation that we could see maybe rates maybe go up further or remain on hold for longer. If we do see coming below the 3.7, then obviously we'd start to see an idea of potentially rate cuts coming sooner, and there has been some expectations about them starting potentially next year. So we also have Chinese manufacturing data coming out in the non-manufacturing. So the manufacturing PMI is the key one. 49.2 is what's being seen there, and with the state and all the talk about the Chinese economy at the moment, there will be a little bit of interest in that one. So then finally on Wednesday, we have retail sales coming out from Germany, and just going up to Thursday, we have CPI data coming out from Germany as well, and then we also have ADP Employment Change, and then we have one of the key ones for the week, and that's the Fed the FOMC, the Fed policy statement. So we also have Canadian GDP coming out of there as well, and the employment cost index coming out from the US as well. So 1% and 0.1 from those. So the federal funds rate, they're looking for rates to remain on hold at 5.5%. And I think traders will be looking at the statement to try and gauge how they see the economy. So GDP in the States have been rising. Now, is that going to have any impact? And where does the Fed see inflation at the moment? And will we see any hints about future funds rate policy, and are we going to see any hints at adjustments either, or will we see mainly a statement about remaining on hold? So I think there'll be a few questions that traders will be looking to see any hints to answer on Thursday with the FOMC, just to sort of start to see any direction, future direction from the Fed, and then how that's going to impact a very range-bound USD at the moment. That is an uptrend, but for the short term is definitely range-bound, and we are seeing any hints about rates maybe holding or remaining to on hold, possibly dropping sooner than what we have been led to believe with with that policy staying higher for longer. Is that going to then propel in US indexes to further records, and as we have been seeing previous records last week, and could we see new records coming in on those indexes from this week into next week? So there will be a bit of interest in that one for sure. And then we have the ISM Manufacturing PMI, and we also have CPI as well coming out from the EU. So then moving on, we have it continues on. So we then have the interest rate decision from the Bank of England. So they're looking for rates to remain on hold at 5.25%. But how does the Bank of England see inflation at the moment, and will we see any hints about a rate cut coming anytime soon? I think we'll need to see just comments on how they're viewing things at the moment. Then into Friday, so it is a pretty busy week this week. Into Friday, we have ISM Manufacturing PMI coming out. They're looking for 47.3. And then to cap it all off, this week we have Nonfarm Employment Data coming out on early Saturday morning, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, and it's the usual three. Average earnings, we're looking for 0.3. Non-farm payrolls are looking for 173k in jobs, and unemployment they're looking for 4.1% is the forecast there. So we will see how that pans out, and if we do see, the surprise I think will be in the jobs data if we do see higher or lower, and if it does surprise the upside, that has had a positive effect on the dollar. But if we do see a big surprise to the downside, is that also then going to, depending on what we see from the Fed, is that going to continue to push an agenda of maybe a weaker dollar? So we'll see how things do progress throughout this week. There's a couple of big ones coming out. Locally, there's the CPI, then we have the FOMC and the non-farm payrolls for the US. We also have the UK rates decision as well, and then some pretty decent data coming out from China. So there is, it's gonna be a busy week, and enjoy some of that data that comes out. We'll see how much volatility we get, and then as always, if you are looking to trade the news, make sure you do manage your risk, as volatility can be unexpected and sudden. So thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back with this next week, so don't miss out on some of these key data that's coming out this week, and we wish you all the best with your trading, and thanks again for checking out today's update, and bye for now.